All right. Hi, Dan Brule. Welcome. Um, I'm welcoming everyone else who's watching this video too as we introduce a little bit more about breath work. And I am honored actually to be speaking to you today. I know you're in Baja, New Mexico. Oh no, sorry, Baja, Mexico. Mexico. He's in warm weather. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, as we're connecting, and honored to speak with world-renowned breathwork master. I like to call you the godfather of breath, by the way. And because you introduce or you're making breathwork, the breathwork movement. We are the breathwork movement in the world right now. And welcoming you. Hi, Dan.
Hey, yeah, you're right. I mean, breathwork is the new yoga. It's 2 years in a row at the International Wellness Summit. It was voted the most powerful current trend in health and wellness, period, for 2 years in a row. So yeah, breathwork is coming of age finally.
Right. Even though it's a practice that's thousands of years old, right?
Yeah, it seems through history every now and then things are reawakened and looked at in a new light. And another wave of that is happening around the breath right now. Ancient practices, but science and medicine is giving them real credence and real validation. And more and more people are just waking up to the power and the potential that's right under their nose.
Right. Yeah. And that's actually one thing I want to actually ask you, and maybe you can share a little bit, especially for my Richmond, Virginia family who might be interested in going to this workshop. For those of you who don't know, part of the reason why we're doing this is Dan will be in Richmond, Virginia, doing a breathe workshop, a fundamental workshop, and I'll share information about that at the end and special discount too. So stay tuned. But Dan, share with me like your touch of the breath. And I love the piece of it that I always share, by the way, with your Just Breathe book. Was part of it was as a child, your spiritual connection, just sitting in church and the book of Genesis and that God breathed breath into man. But you've had a journey through that about how the breath touched you.
Mhm. Right. I mean, I was sort of awakened to it in kindergarten. Just hearing those words from the pastor of the Catholic diocese, the church I was in, and that was the most exciting thing a little 5-year-old could ever imagine hearing, that God was breathing into me. And like, I couldn't understand why everybody wasn't excited. So yeah, some little seed was planted very young. And then, I was the breath holding, I was organizing breath holding competitions in the schoolyard, and every job I've ever had has been connected to breathing in some way. So it's kind of an inescapable obsession and mission. So I'm so glad that after 40 years of teaching and shouting from the rooftops that people are actually coming on their own. They're figuring it out that, hey, if I play with my breath, things open up. If I play with my breath, things heal, I grow, I discover, my creativity increases, my intuition gets better, my relationships get better. And so my response is, duh.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right, because we know about it, right? But let's talk to those who don't. Why does breath work? Why? The science
Well,
behind it.
right, yeah. When we inhale, we activate the sympathetic branch of the nervous system, which is the charge and fight and flight and perform. And when we exhale, we activate the parasympathetic, rest and digest and recover and heal. And so when we play with our breath, we're hacking into our nervous system. And when you control and regulate your nervous system, you regulate your moods, you regulate your thoughts, you regulate your physiology, your chemistry. And so the breath gives us a handle on heart rate and blood pressure and skin temperature and all kinds of stuff. And so it's when I become conscious of my breathing, I become more conscious, period. When I become aware of my breath, I become more aware in general. And consciousness and awareness, I mean, that's the foundation of who we are. Consciousness is part of our essence, and it's what makes us, who we are. So the more conscious we become, the more of who we are we become. So breath puts us in touch with our spirit. It gives us a handle on the autonomic nervous system. We can manage our emotions. We can manage our mental state. We can manage our arousal. We can manage our impulses, behaviors. And so it's just a very powerful tool for those people who want to grow and want to heal and want to be responsible. Then the breath gives them a way to do that in a very powerful and direct way.
Right. Beautiful. That was beautifully stated. Yeah, what I love to share in my classes and make people realize is that the breath controls every function of your body. And that's why it works. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the flywheel of the body. You get the breath flowing smoothly, and everything connected to it also begins to flow more smoothly. And if you want to energize yourself, you just turn up the breathing. If you want to calm yourself down, you turn the breathing down. And once people figure out, and once they have an experience that, hey, this is a switch, this is a handle, I can regulate myself with it, then you're naturally motivated to see what else you can do. How deep can you go? How high can it take you? And in 40 years or more already, I don't think there's any limit. Stig Severinsen just left here. He did a little surprise visit to our retreat here in Los Cabos and was here with us for a couple of days. Stig Severinsen is a world breath holding champion. And so he's using breath control as working with PTSD and controlling anxiety, and he and a lot of others. And so, wow, everywhere you look, people are waking up to the breath. And so it's time. It's time for people to discover the power and the potential that's right under their nose, literally.
Right. Right. We each carry this tool, this little tool in our toolbox. We actually have the ability to heal ourselves, to help ourselves, to regulate our bodies. That's how I became fascinated with it. I actually experienced a physical healing with breath work, and that's why I became a facilitator. It was that profound for me. So I feel it's important to share that this is your tool, your own modality that you carry, your like God-given right. Right?
Yeah. And you can replace drugs, and you can replace psychiatrists, and you can replace experts in your life just by claiming your own power through the breath.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So for those people who need to be introduced to the breath work and stuff like that, I'm happy to be bringing you to Richmond, Virginia. It's going to be very exciting. First time. So for those of you in Richmond, tell me who this workshop would be for, Dan. Who are we talking to? Who's our audience here?
Well, I'll tell you who is not for. If you don't have a belly button, then breathing probably won't help you. But if you got a belly button, then I'd be willing to bet that breathing will help you. The one theme that I've noticed throughout my life related to the breath is change. People who want change, who are ready for a change, who are going through a change, who are in the middle of a change, who are recovering from a change, breathing is like the ideal tool for managing change. Physical change, changes in life, changes in focus. So change is the big theme. If there's something you want to change in your life, you change the way you breathe, and you find that changing other things is much, much easier. But if you can't change the way you breathe, good luck trying to change anything else. And so, for those in our world, the stress and the constant nonstop living paycheck to paycheck, trying to keep up and catch up constantly, that's such a wear and tear on our system. And so breathing gives us an opportunity to kind of recover from all that, to kind of, reconnect with our essential energy
and blow off and vent off a lot of the accumulated stress and anxiety. And, you know, it's like, well, we have all these cliches, a breath of fresh air and take a few breaths. We know this. If you're upset, if you're angry, if you're afraid, you know, take a few breaths. We know it. We've all been taught it. But I think what people lack are just simple formulas for putting that advice into practice. So that's what our work is going to be about when I get to Richmond. Just, you know, taking these ancient fundamentals, these ancient principles, westernizing them, and putting them together in a very practical way so we can start to show up better, show up more.
Right. Yeah. So basically this course is actually for any human. You don't have to necessarily be a yoga instructor or a facilitator or a doctor or a therapist, right? These fundamentals course
yes, you know,
anyone, that's what I wanted to hear, who breathes and who's in healing and maybe seeking, you know, that extra something, that change that you shared in life. But also I feel like they'll walk away with tools to not only manage their breath and learn how to use it, but also help others, right?
Yeah, you know, we can't help. If something works for us, it's hard not to share it. It's hard not to, you know, encourage others to do it. And in a very short time, you know, people get so much benefit from breathing that it's just natural that they want to help others with it. And if you're already in a helping profession, yeah, then it'll take your practice to the next level. And if you don't think you're a healer or a teacher, as soon as you begin to connect to the breath and your energy changes and your attitude changes and you have more energy and you sleep less and your headaches go away and you're calmer in tense situations, other people notice it and they want what you have. And so, yeah, our course that we're going to be doing in Richmond, we're going to start from the basics and we're going to zoom all the way up to really advanced stuff. So no matter what level people are at, if you're a total beginner, if you've never meditated, if you don't do yoga, it doesn't matter. You're going to step onto the path really quickly and you'll experience just powerful benefits, and you'll want to share them with your friends or family, or if you have clients or patients, then you're going to want students, you're going to want to share it with them.
Right. Fantastic. Well, Dan, I'm really looking forward to welcoming you to Richmond. And let me just give some details about the workshop. First off, for those of you, February 28th, Thursday, February 28th, at the Alchemist in Stony Point for my Richmond family. And also for those of you surrounding area, if you're watching this and you live in New York, drive down from New York. I have some people coming up from North Carolina. I have a dear friend, Lauren, who's flying in from Los Angeles. My Los Angeles family, believe it or not, they're coming to Richmond to be at your workshop, Dan. So February 28th is the book signing. So come meet Dan at the book signing. This is the free event. You can meet Dan, get your book signed at the Alchemist in Stony Point Shopping. And then March 1st through 3rd, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, when the workshop starts, it's going to be at Studio D Yoga in Midlothian, Virginia. And I'll also be offering a ceremonial breath work that I practice out here in Richmond at one of those evenings, Saturday evening, which is going to be phenomenal. But I just want to invite everyone to come breathe with Dan. And the big announcement is I've been offered some financial assistance for the registration. So I'm announcing right now that we will be giving a discount to the next 10 people that sign up for the registration over this next, I don't know, hour, week, however long it takes. So sign up today. The next 10 registrations will receive $100 off of the registration fee because I was offered this really beautiful donation. And also, I'm offering for our military family, our active military and also veterans, because it has been found, breathwork has been found to be so profoundly healing for the veterans, right, Dan? I know you work with a lot of veterans, I'm sure. I do actually out here in Virginia. We are a military state out here, right?
Right. I came out of the Vietnam era
Yeah.
And so I've been teaching breath control for managing stress and post-traumatic stress for most of my life. And my heart is with the veterans for sure, because that's where I got my early training. It's where I discovered, how how it's easier to keep up than it is to catch up. And when you think your battery is empty, you discover that you still have 40% left, and it's just, how do we access that? And so, yeah, I welcome veterans and all active duty people too, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to be offering them, or I think we're offering them a 20% military discount. I'll put the codes on this when we post this interview so everybody can sign up and register. And really excited to be having you coming here, Dan. So thank you. Thank you for your time. And
looking forward to it.
Can't wait to be the Breathwork in Richmond. Yeah.
Oh, here it comes. Hold on to your hat.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. Just breathe, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, Dan. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.